Thanks for joining us on the Midday News with Nifemi Oguntoye. Two suicide attacks in Borno and Yobe hit northeast Nigeria killed at least 38 people less than 6 weeks from elections as Boko Haram leader vows to disrupt the forthcoming polls in his latest video released on Twitter. Security-based issues had been given as rationale for postponement of the initially scheduled February 14 poll, as Nigeria's military voiced hope that a regional military offensive will curtail the insurgents group before the new election date, March 28. The latest wave of attacks blamed on rebels underscored the challenge facing Nigeria and its neighbors, Cameroon, Chad, and Niger, despite claims of successes in the joint operation launched this month. The Borno bomb blast occurred when 3 assailants in a motorized rickshaw detonated explosives at the checkpoints at Yamakune village near the town of Bio at about 1 p.m., leaving 36 people killed and injured 20. The Senate has summoned the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Atahiru Jega, to appear before it on Wednesday to explain the rationale for the postponement of elections to March 28. But the All Progressives Congress of the Senate is insisting that security chiefs should also be invited since the adversary led to the shift in date. The Senate resolved to invite the INEC chairman following a motion by Senate leader Victor Ndomaegba, who also noted that the commission needs to justify the use of card readers for the rescheduled polls. Minority leader George Akume on the spot suggested that the 3 service chiefs be invited to also shed light on the postponement. But Senate President David Mark argued that the invitation of the security chiefs would be determined by Jega's submission on Wednesday. He is to appear before the Senate at 11 a.m. Opposition members of the Nigerian Senate, however, are insisting that elections must hold on March 28 and April 11. They also maintain that card readers have to be used for accreditation of the 2 days, contrary to the position of some members of the ruling People's Democratic Party. This was the position senators elected on the platform of the APC expressed at a news conference in Abuja. They argued that there are signs the card readers may be used as reason for a further shift in elections.
Card readers will add value to the conduct of the election. We're talking about what? Free and fair elections. Time has passed when people carry ballot boxes and papers to their respective rooms, thumbprint, and the following day we are senators, we are members of the of the House of Reps, we are governors, we are presidents. The whole world is watching this country. We have become a laughing stock. We are becoming a banana republic. The fact that we're in opposition does not make us any security risk. We are even more patriotic than those who are in government. We want elections, and card readers must be applied. They must be used.
What the card readers are used for is not for voting, it's for accreditation. Oh, there is a difference between accreditation and the actual voting. Accreditation will reduce rigging.
We are all politicians that must be ready to go to election, and any attempt to have a credible election should be the priority of all of us. I think what should be our priority now is address what Jega said was the reason. And I thought would have been more priority for us was to see those service chiefs come before the Senate and explain to us why they have postponed. Not for us to bring Jega as an ambush, really, to try to convince why the issue of card reader. That is a party position. What we should all now be, we should be patriotic. We should see beyond our party and think of Nigeria. What is important now is more important than the issue of security. I think the agenda of bringing Jega tomorrow and on the issues of card reader is a PDP agenda.
The Inspector General of Police, Sulaiman Abba, has ordered command commissioners of police to recover firearms from unauthorized security outfits and agencies, including state-owned security outfits across the country. He also directed that suspects arrested in connection with illegal possession of firearms be prosecuted as soon as possible. This, according to police spokesman Emmanuel Ojukwu, is because of the high rate of political violence arising from illegal handling of weapons. He said in a statement issued in Abuja that the directive is aimed at ensuring a safer polity in the run-up to the 2015 election. The Inspector General of Police also wants members of the public to continue to collaborate with the police to fish out criminal elements as well as report any suspicious movement in their areas to security agents. And now to Kano, where the Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi, has called on residents of the ancient city to ensure they pick their permanent voter cards before the March 8 deadline set by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. He also urged them to shun violence before, during and after the elections. Emir Sanusi made this rallying call at the interactive session with journalists in Kano State. He also called on all Muslims and Christians to pray for the success of the rescheduled elections. The leadership of the All Progressives Congress on Tuesday converged on Abuja to take stock of the campaign activities and concluded on the need to remain focused. In his address, APC presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari urged the party leaders to avoid mistakes that will cost the party victory. He likened the remaining weeks to the rescheduled election as extra time and insisted that nothing short of a convincing majority will do.
It hasn't been a tea party to go to 35 states within this time and to talk to people, but it's so gratifying that sees the faces of people from Belsa to Maiduguri, from Sokoto to Akwa Ibom State, and I would say from Katsina to Port Harcourt. People are really prepared for the change because that crowd you cannot buy. You can only earn it. And APC has earned it. And you should thank God for that.
Meanwhile, an Ijaw youth group, Izoigbe Global Policy Network, has pledged support for the All Progressives Congress and its presidential candidate, Muhammadu Buhari. Spokesman for the group, Ayubaleya Fadanis, said at the National Secretariat of the party in Abuja that members considered the socio-economic situation in the country before arriving at its position. The Niger Delta group also vowed to mobilize about 10 million Nigerian youths to vote for the APC's presidential candidate.
Aligned to synergize with the APC, which we all know that is the only party that has the machinery and good conscience to implement or actualize the gigantic change in our country, Nigeria, which the masses have been yearning for. With the likes of Chief John Odige Oyegun, Chief Bola Tinubu, the Asiwaju of the universe, who during the Nadego days fought the military dictatorship for the enthronement of democracy. Despite all violent intimidation, we are encouraged to stake our all in this struggle.
In all the history of this country, from before the Civil War, the people of the South have been noted as those who kept the country going through thick and thin, through the period of the Civil War and the rest of us. It was the people of the South, particularly the Niger Delta, that kept this country afloat. Today, as we sit, we are not sure what will happen tomorrow. We are not sure whether the elections of the 28th will hold. The country is divided so seriously as it has never been in its whole existence along religious lines.
Deputy Chairman of the Finance Committee of the People's Democratic Party Presidential Campaign Organization, Ngozi Olemeje, has described President Goodluck Jonathan as a sound leader with a vision to develop Nigeria further. She told newsmen in Abuja on Tuesday that President Jonathan would continue to put democracy on top of his agenda with a view to strengthening the tenets of good governance. Olejeme, who is also the chairman of Nigeria's Social Insurance Trust Fund, praised President Jonathan for his leadership qualities and his efforts at expanding economic opportunities for Nigeria. She added that President Jonathan would continue to run a good government, provide Nigerians with social security, create jobs, and build a Nigeria that is secure and prosperous. We'll take a break now and I'll be back with more stories afterwards. Stick around, don't go away.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Welcome back. You can also get all of our top stories on any of our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. And our Twitter handle is at CoreTV News NG. We'll also stream live on YouTube. You can get all of our news and programs on YouTube now. It's youtube.com/CoreTV, Live Space and News. Moving on now, Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose has dedicated his victory at the Court of Appeal, which validated his victory at the 2014 Ekiti State governorship election, to the people of the state. While speaking to his supporters at a victory session in the city of Ado-Ekiti, Fayose thanked Ekiti people for their support over time.
Together for the victory, and we want to appreciate our people for keeping vigil, keeping faith with the PDP and with our son, the candidate, by extension the governor. Our prayers is that the remaining hurdles ahead of us, God will clear them.
Governor, however, calls for more support from the people to ensure the success of his administration, while also promising to deliver dividends of democracy to Ekiti people.
If it's not in perfect will of God, we will not be here. Yes. And because we are here for you. Yes. We are here for the ordinary man. Yes. And by the grace of God, we will live up to expectation in Jesus' name.
State Governor Ayodele Fayose has also reiterated his commitment to the re-election bid of President Goodluck Jonathan. In that same clip, while reacting to the exit of former President Olusegun Obasanjo from the PDP, Fayose says Obasanjo's exit is for the betterment of the party.
I want to tell you that whether they like it or not, irrespective of the propaganda in high levels, God has ordained what God wants to ordain. Whether Obasanjo tear his voters card or not, it is simply good radiance to bad rubbish. In fact, I am not disappointed, because I know at some point Obasanjo will fizzle out.
A state where Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed has assured workers in the state that despite the dire economic situation of the country, his government will not retrench workers as against the fears nursed by some section of the workforce. The governor made this statement in the rescheduled governorship debate organized by the Kwara State chapter of the Nigeria Labour Congress. Responding to questions from the audience, the governor says the government has no business in retrenching workers before managing the precarious financial situation in the state.
No, we will not retrench workers. Let us recognize one fact, that this whole idea of retrenching people is a military style. We inherited it from the military. You do not retrench civil servants. The civil service, as it were, is a working machine. For those of us who are familiar with what the British gave us, it's a working machine that has a strategized entry and exit platform. It was because the military came with a fiat process of retrenching people in a way of sanitizing the system that people began to see retrenchment as a solution to solving economic problem. It is not. Once you retrench, you are distorting the civil service. So for us, we'll continue to ensure that entry and exit into civil service is structured to meet the services expected to be delivered. Any form of fiat retrenchment or entry will distort the quality of service.
The governor also used the platform to react to the recent attack on his convoy and other issues bordering on political violence while he canvassed for votes from Quarrens.
We must insist as Nigerians that we must use the permanent voters card so that we can have credible elections, so that your votes must count, not what the politicians decide. Your votes must count. When your votes begin to count, then you can decide to keep Mr. A. If he does not do well, you vote him out the next time. We do not need violence. Violence does not change anything. It only leaves a bad taste. That anybody under any guise that breaks the law for peace must be arrested and incarcerated accordingly. Either you are PDP, APC, Labour, because violence does not breed anything other than violence and bad taste.
Supporters of the All Progressives Congress in Amuwa Odofin local government area of Lagos State say they are confident that the success of the APC from the national to the local level is assured at the polls come March 28 and April 11, 2015. They said this during a march from the local government secretariat round the area, making a stop at the palace of the Alado of Ado Kingdom, Oba Latif Olayinkado, and paid homage to the monarch. They, however, said the entire Amuwo Odofin constituency will receive the support of the main opposition party, the APC.
Lagos is APC to the core, 100% APC. And talking about the postponement of the election, it's something that caught us unaware, and we are prepared for it. We know the presidency is scared. They are really scared. They don't want to lose, but they will eventually lose. At the end of the day, come March 28th, April 11, APC will take over at the national and the state level.
We are trying our best to make sure that our party will win from all the local, all the election, from the president, Senate, House of Rep, Governor, House of Assembly. All the elections, we pray we win it, and we are working harder to make sure we win it with the party. Our leaders are working right from the national to the local government level. They are working tirelessly to make sure we win this election.
It's to show our strength, not only to the public, but to the APC generally, that Amuwo Odofin is united. So this is a joint effort to showcase that Amuwo Odofin stands solidly for APC.
President Goodluck Jonathan has formally sent the names of 8 ministerial nominees to the Senate for confirmation as cabinet members. Topping the list is former Minister of State for Defense Musiliu Obanikoro, who is to represent Lagos State in the Federal Executive Council. There are 2 other former federal lawmakers on the list. They are Senators Patricia Akwashiki and Joel Ikenya. The remaining nominees are Professor Ada, retired Colonel Augustine Akobundu, Fidelis Nwakwo, Hawa Lawan, and Kenneth Kubani. Meanwhile, the APC is now demanding disciplinary action against an army general and others involved in what it called the subversion of democracy during the Ekiti state governorship elections. It also urged the Senate to reject the nomination of Senator Musiliu Obanikoro as minister based on the role he played in the matter. This was the decision taken by APC leaders at the end of the first joint leadership meeting of the party in Abuja, where a leaked audio file and footage released by an online media was played back to the gathering. Party spokesman Lai Mohammed presented the communique to newsmen.
The Minister of Police Affairs, Jalili Ade Chian, should be immediately relieved of his ministerial appointment. Thirdly, the former Minister of State for Defense, Senator Musiliu Obanikoro, who has just been renominated as to be confirmed as minister by the Senate should not be confirmed by the Senate, and he should not be allowed to hold any public office henceforth. Thirdly, in line with the ruling of the Court of Appeal yesterday, which confirmed an earlier ruling of the Federal High Court Sokoto that the military has absolutely no business in the election management process.
Members of the House of Representatives on Tuesday received the report on the amendment of the Constitution from the state's Houses of Assembly. Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives Emeka Ihedioha, who moved the motion for adoption of the report, says the state legislatures have contributed their own quota to the amendment process, hence the need for the lower chamber to fast-track its passage into law. Ihedioha called on his colleagues to study inputs made by the state houses so as to hasten the passage of the amended constitution into law. And when it was time for voice vote, members of the House unanimously voted for the adoption of the report. We'll take another break now, and I'll be back with a story outside Nigeria. Don't go away.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Welcome back. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has called for a United Nations resolution mandating an international coalition to intervene in Libya after its jets bombed Islamic State targets. Islamic State released a video on Sunday showing the beheading of 21 Egyptian Christians, drawing Cairo directly into the conflict across its border and raising concerns about increasing influence of the Islamist insurgents active in Syria and Iraq. Referring to the 2011 Libyan war, in which France was part of an international coalition backing the forces that deposed former leader Muammar Gaddafi, Sisi described it as an unfinished mission. He also called on militias to hand in their arms, but called for weapons to be supplied to Libya's internationally recognized government based in the eastern city of Tobruk after rivals seized power in Tripoli. The Tobruk government has already asked for the lifting of an international arms embargo to help it take back control of the country. And that wraps it this hour on CoreTV News. Do join us again at the top of the hour for more stories. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Thanks for being there.